It's fun and easy to start something new. You think you're going to do great. You don't know what problems come into play before you've already started doing it. What's difficult is when you actually start doing it and you do it a couple times and that immediate success and excitement kind of fades away. And then you're still stuck kind of grinding, not really knowing why you're not having success. And all of the different alternatives for what you set out to do to begin with start to become more attractive. But I think that the success is really found in sticking with something for the long term, going deep and through that. And so in this video, I'm going to kind of talk around the thoughts I'm having related to that topic. Now, if we've never met before, hello, my name is Duncan, Alderdice. I make I make short videos in the morning on my walk as I talk through the thoughts I'm having, as I try to put my life back together again at the age of 28 right now. So, starting something new. The reason that this has come up is because I've been making these videos now. I don't know how many days, but something over 40 days. And the first video got about 200 views. That was super exciting. There are 2 subscribers, a couple people commented. Now, every subsequent video from that hasn't reached 8 views. And so that feels like a major downfall. Going like, okay. So then there's doubts that come into my mind as to whether or not this actually is an interesting piece of content. And I think that there is, because I still keep finding, like, there was information to indicate that it was an interesting piece of content that someone would take value of when I began it. Just now I'm not getting that immediate feedback. Now, is that because the algorithm has changed and so it's no longer the case? Or, and I think what is more likely, is the content isn't actually that good. That is why it isn't having the amount of reach that I think it could have. But to the same token, the thing that I'm trying to figure out is whether or not, okay, well, so views are very low, but a lot of those low view videos have an extremely high retention. And I'm talking like 60 to 90%, meaning there's only about maybe 4 people who have watched it. But of those 4 people, on average, they've made it 3/4 of the way into it. And so, okay, so is that necessarily a failure? Now, to the main topic kind of thing, immediately, because I don't know, it feels like a failure. And there's different sort of ideas of going, okay, well, instead of making daily videos, I should do weekly and spend a bit more time into it. Or I should try to make them more cinematic and just kind of like film my life what it is, because those videos are getting a lot higher views. But so then it's like going, okay, well, it's difficult to kind of compare yourself to that. I think, and then the easy thing is to assume before you even started doing something different, that 1, you know how to do that thing, and 2, that you could do that thing as well as the ways that you're seeing other people doing it that are having that success. And all of these thoughts are fueled by the fact that you have no information that you've gathered from the environment to contradict them, because you haven't actually started to do them. Yet the first idea that you had, you do have enough information to see, actually, this isn't as easy as I thought it was going to be. Maybe I should switch. I'm going to turn around because there's someone looking right fucking at me. Someone going to switch. Okay. Fuck. And then I lost the trail of thought completely. The trail of thought. Ooh, that's a new sentence. But, okay, so, from a different perspective, though, is... So, seeing as the channel that I've had this channel for a bit over 10 years, maybe a bit shorter than that, I don't know, actually, but not 6 months. It's been a while. And these videos are not the first series I tried doing. Actually, I first started doing like vlogs, but like those are edited, more life at university, and things to that nature. That was the first sort of candidates. Those ones had like a strong pull within the university circle that I went to, naturally, because of the content for that sort of niche. COVID happened, so I can continue those things because it was highly dependent on other people being allowed to be together. But then from there, I tried doing something where I just kind of was standing talking to the camera with kind of a thought. I call it like Duncan lecture series. Then after that, there was a personal growth collection, another thing where I'm standing to the camera, trying to work through the thoughts. And then the most recent one to this one was actually another one I called Start Continue, which was me making a daily video at the end of the day, kind of as I was trying to put my life back together, and similar to this one. But the point that I'm trying to make is that the content I've been making for these past 40-ish days, is, although similar, different from the content I was making before. I'm a different person. And so the topics are going to be changing. The life circumstances are going to be different. And therefore the audience who would be actually interested in this isn't necessarily going to be the same. Now, where this is tying in is because the algorithm is the thing that puts the content in front of people's eyeballs to get them to potentially click. I don't think it knows with a strong, solid understanding who to put my content in front of. And that's either its fault or my fault. No. It's my fault. And because I don't have, like, the first 20-ish days, I'm trying to figure out what I'm trying to do with this and what that direction is. And so I can get discouraged and go, there's so many fucking mosquitoes, I should just go back home and never come out again. No, but like, I can get discouraged and say, okay, no, the videos aren't very up in many views, I need to change to something else. Or I can look up the information and kind of go deep into it and learn, oh no, especially in a state of a channel that is in this sort of circumstance, the algorithm, there's need to be a phase where you sort of train the algorithm and teach it what it is that you're doing so that it can learn who to put the videos in front of. Again, another thing that comes from sticking with something and enduring and going deep. And then the other thing is there's the comparison you can make to other people and different decisions that they have made. And so this is similar to kind of like, okay, well, if you have started a business in, let's say, AI automation, that just relates to me, but then you start to see people go, oh no, what you really want to be is an online closer. Okay, well, no, actually what you want to be is you want to start a brick and mortar gym. Or, and you're just seeing all of these different people, or from like my circumstance, like, okay, well, you should be doing either weekly videos or videos that are not, or more scripted, or animation or faceless. That you can see all of these people having success, and having success that are kind of similar to yours. Like there's this guy I came up across, his name's Jet Franzen or whatever, and he started his channel in like December, and it's just him sitting in front of his computer. Like the backdrop is his basement or his room, and he had like discuss his philosophy, and it seems sometimes that he's just kind of going off the cuff, but then also the more you listen, sometimes it feels like it's a bit AI scripted, and nothing to say that there's wrong with the scripted. It's just, it's unsure whether or not it's his thoughts, but something else. More the thing that I can pull from is the thumbnails that he has is like, there's no effort. It's just him there. There's no text in front or anything like the things I'm trying to put on my thumbnail. Yet, within 6 months, he's been able to get up to 250,000 views. Subscribers, and has done a bunch of stuff on other platforms. And so the thumbnails are kind of similar to the ones that I had for previous things I had done on this. And so my thought is, okay, well, so I should stop making the thumbnails I'm this way and switch to the way he's doing it. And then it's a question of, okay, well, the thing that's good with his is that there's a strong brand recognition factor, and you know what you're going to get. I don't know what, like, that's what I'm trying to figure out and define with what it is that I'm doing. And he's been doing it for 6 months. I've been doing it for roughly 30 days. That has been public. So it's not a fair comparison, as well as it's a different style of content. And therefore, of course, it's going to be different. Where I'm pulling this to is, the thoughts are always going to be there of seeing someone else doing something similar or different. If there's a truck coming, yeah, 1 second. there's a motorcycle. But so where I'm going with this is seeing a different person doing something similar or different but having more success. You read that because you see the information you've got, and it's like, well, I'm trying to do this thing, but I'm not having success and it's difficult. I see what their life looks like, and therefore there's no difficulty. Therefore it makes more sense to switch. That is a mistake in and of itself, but it's a difficult one not to make because you don't have the reward of the success of the thing that you started to do. You only have the doubts, at a particular stage. And that one, every time you think of it, seems like, oh no, I should actually pivot. Where I think the success is, at least the working model that I'm going to apply and use to structure my perceptions, and therefore the framework I use to determine my behavioral output. In other words, what I'm going to adopt as a mentality and choose to do is like apply the creative constraints in the domain you're doing, and then become the master at that. That if I made a video each week, it would be a lot easier to research and edit and make it more polished. But then all of that has its own skills. I don't know how to do that well yet. Whereas if it's doing daily, okay, well, I need to, and one thing I've been trying to do is think of a topic the night before so I can sleep on that and come up in the morning so I can go run off the cuff and actually say something of value. Or what sort of editing workflow do I need so that I can make a description and make the videos quickly and the thumbnail so that I can get that high content out. If I make one piece of content each day, there's 7 times as much as I make per week. And by the nature of me writing a story of myself, as I'm doing that, I said this in the last time I did it, like I'm not an interesting enough person yet to just have that cold appeal right there. So I need to articulate topics, and the value comes from this being on day 700 of this. And someone goes like, oh shit, someone has been doing this for 700 days. What is that? If I can get them at a topic right there, and someone says like, oh, I'm interested in this guy, and like super interested, there is 700 views right there that will happen over the course of the next week. And remembering that YouTube is a long game, and therefore what I'm building now will compound and have a payoff later. I just need to get dialed this specific flavor of it in, which suits the thing that I think actually makes sense, or I would be interested in, and I can create. And rather than spend time worrying about what someone else is doing and the success that they're having, understand that is a valid thought, but should be categorized as a distraction because it doesn't actively help me pursue the goals I have in the first place. And so I think this is me to say to you, if you clicked on this video and have made it to the end at this point, and you're wondering whether or not the thing you're doing is the right thing to be doing, or whether you should switch. The question I would ask to you is, have you done that thing for long enough to know without a shadow of a doubt it's a bad idea rather than a poor execution? Not to say that you suck, but can you rule out you're just not good enough yet from the equation of the lack of success you're seeing? Because for myself, I can't rule out that out of the equation. And so we must endure. This was a standing one rather than a walking one. If you liked that, just another thing is, I think the thing I'm trying to focus on is getting more comment. No, that's another talk. If you liked this style rather than the walking one, you can drop a comment down below saying whether or not you did or not. And I would appreciate that. And I appreciate you watching to the end. And I know you know this already, but I'll say it again, is that desire is what drives you forward. The pain you're going through is necessary. That is why you need to believe in yourself, because you're more capable of doing great things than you give yourself credit. Lean in, aim up, and move forward. Yes, you can. Yes, you will.